Very good evening to you and welcome to Atn Politics right here on Atlantic Television Network in the city of Port Harcourt. Well, Atn Politics is the network's flagship program that discusses core political issues, trends with relevant political stakeholders. Well, today on Atn Politics, we'll be discussing core issues from different political landscapes. But we'll take a look at Osun local government crisis. APC accuses Adeleke of abusing court processes. We also take a look at Lagos State. PDP leaders visit John Doe, urges him to rejoin party. On alleged sexual harassment, protesters clash. Kogi group disowns Natasha, threatens recall. While on nation building, Nigeria can attain enviable status, says Obasanjo. Remember, we are open for advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society, and political interviews, product, service promotion, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our Atn socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We'll go on a short break when we return to introduce a guest and dive right into the stories. Just stay with us.
Board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network and Wish 99.5 FM. Theme: Imperative of Private Media in Sustainable Development.
Keynote speaker, Professor Tony Iradia, erudite scholar and broadcast guru. Chairman, Professor Umar Pert, President, Society of Broadcasters, Nigeria, and Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashiri, Gombe State. Panelists, Chief Honorable Arthur C. Kalabo, Information and Communication Expert, Dr. Haka Tuait, Lecturer, Public Relations, Media and Communication, Dr. Bekwele Lawrence DK, Lecturer, Marketing Communication and Public Relations, Opaka Dakuba, Chairman, South Nigerian Union of Journalists, Susan Serekara Nwikana, Chairperson, Nawach River State, Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, FSM, FIMC, FNIMN, MNIM, ARPA, MIPPA, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, 10th of March 2025. Venue, Dimeji Banquet Hall, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5 East West Road by Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time is 11 a.m.
Call Kehinde Paul Obofadi on 0802 301 5728. That is 0802 301 5728 or info@atlanticnetwork.tv or info@wishfm995ph.com. You can also call Laurentia Ogu on 0818 344 6746. That is 0818 344 6746 or lead content at atlanticnetwork.tv. This is signed by management.
Every day, our lives are
Many thanks to stay with us. You're watching Atn Politics right here on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me today live in the studio is Dr. Henry Bassi. He's a public affairs analyst. Good evening and welcome to ATN Politics.
Good evening, Victor.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Also joining me live in the studio today to discuss ATN Politics is Ene John. John, he's a public affairs analyst. Good evening and welcome to ATN Politics.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
It's good. This is your first time of being on ATN Politics.
Okay, yeah, it is. It is.
All right.
Thank you. And I trust I'm going to have a good time.
Wow, yeah, sure. You're going to have a good time, actually.
Okay.
All right, so let's delve into our stories for today. We begin with Osun State. Well, All Progressives Congress APC in Osun State has accused Governor Ademola Adeleke of engaging in an abuse of court process. Well, the party in a statement on Thursday by its Director of Media and Information, Kola Olabisi, accused Governor Adeleke of treating with disdain the judgment of the Appellate Court, which reinstated the elected APC local government council chairman and councillors in February 10, 2025. Or the party revealed that it was aware that Governor Adeleke was behind the court suits instituted by the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Local government officials elected during the February 22nd local government elections. The Osun APC also stated that it was normally and legally offensive. Legally offensive that the National Union of Local Government Employees (NOLGE) Osun State Charter could get entangled in an ostensibly partisan political matter. It accused the union of swaying to the whims and caprices of the allegedly illegal elected council chairman and councillors who were not known to the law of the land by virtue of the Court of Appeal judgment of February 10, 2025. ATN recalls that the PDP elected local council officials had on Wednesday approached an Osun State High Court sitting in Ikuru on the resolution of the ongoing logjam created by the occupation of the various council secretariats by the local government officials produced by the administration of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in 2022. Also, it was gathered that the Osun State Chapter of National Union of Local Government Employees (NOLGE) has equally instituted a lawsuit in the Osun State High Court sitting in Ilesha over the forceful invasion and illegal occupation of the local government secretariats by the APC local government chairman and councillors of elected during the Oyetola-led administration in Osun State. First of all, I'll begin with you, Dr. Henry. Let's talk about this APC's accusation of Governor Adeleke, abusing court processes.
Thank you. The last time I appeared in this program, something of this magnitude was asked.
All right.
And my response then was, look, we have too many court ruling in this country where those who is not affected or is affected directly, seems to push aside that judgment and try to implement that which they know that it affected them directly. Now, the issue of Osun State local government election, the issue of appeal court returning the sacked local government chairman during the 2022, when the former governor was on seat, bringing them back. Up till now, I do not know whether I'm talking about the current governor of Osun State, whether they have challenged that matter at the Supreme Court.
Right.
But if they haven't, trying to disobey court ruling by embarking on local government elections that elected new set of local government chairmen as against the ruling of the appeal court, it's one of those things that I do not know how politicians, think when court case is ruled, whether it's against them, since it is court decision, you must abide by it. There is no two ways about it. Than running around the circumference, doing nothing, than making sure that this thing continue to be against you. When are we going to take correction? When are we going to do the right thing? We discussed this matter too many times. Even on radio yesterday, I could remember this same matter was brought for discussion. If you do not agree with the decision of the court on that particular matter, you have a right to appeal it. Take it to the final court of the land, which is the Supreme Court, if you don't like the ruling, than allowing this thing to be going. It's uncalled for. It's not fit a country like us who practice democracy. Of course, if you ask me, I will tell you that the type of democracy we practice in this country is different from any other democracy that is practiced all over the world.
All right.
So for them to dodge this particular ruling and went ahead to do what pleases them, it is against the rule of law. And democracy, as long as democracy principles is concerned, this is against it. And so for me, Adeleke, being the current governor of the Osun State, shouldn't do this.
All right.
It doesn't fit somebody of his status as a governor of a state. It doesn't, please.
All right. So, and I'd like to get your take on this. I mean, we've had series of developments come out from this. I mean, they just had their local government election on the 22nd of February 2025, and we thought that this is going to die down. But then we're seeing this allegations by the APC that the Osun State Governor, Governor Ademola Adeleke, is not abiding to court processes, rather it's abusing court processes. I'd like to get your take on this one. Do you also see any possibility that the Osun State Governor is abusing court processes in this instance?
Okay, thank you very much for that question.
You're welcome.
First off, I want to, my issue now is with the court. It's one too many. And it's beginning to look like every judgment that is given just shoot themselves again. Now, the PDP is accusing, the APC is accusing Adeleke of not paying court order, whereas the PDP local elected chairman went to court just a few days before that day.
All right.
Because they knew they were going to lose their judgment at the appeal court.
Okay.
So, having lost that one, they're now relying on the lower courts. So, I think the problem is actually with the court judgment. Because today you will hear that the former chairman who were elected in 2022 are the rightful people. And then the next time you hear it, the other faction, the other party is going to court and getting another judgment to counter that one. So we just keep going to court again. And okay, look at, it's not the same thing that's happening to River State. I mean, court said conduct election in 86 days. Election was conducted, and the Supreme Court now came to say that these people that are elected are not right. I mean, have you seen the...
If I get it correctly, you're saying that the problem is really with the court judges and not with Governor Ademola Adeleke.
Yes, because the governor has already known that if he fails to implement the judgment, he will definitely go and acquire another one. So he knows that his people are already in court. So if he disobeys this one, he will just point to the fact that they are already in court. And forgetting that it's a lower court. But that is Nigeria that we are in. So you get one judgment from one court, another one acquires another one from another. And then you just keep moving on. So the problem for me is actually the courts.
All right.
Well, I don't have a problem with that because
not Governor Adeleke, as it were.
Just like my colleague here in the studio has rightly pointed out, when you look at judgment these days, if it favors you, you said democracy, is in action. If it doesn't, you will, in fact, you will say that this is the worst case ever decided in the history of Nigeria.
Okay.
And that goes to tell us our weaknesses when it has to do with our institutions. Don't forget that judiciary is one of the biggest and the most important institutions in Nigeria. And not only in Nigeria, anywhere around the world. That the decision that is coming from such an institution should be respected. But in the case of our own country, it is quite different. Just like I said. Now, when you know that this matter is going to be decided in few days, you ran to a court somewhere in your state to obtain an injunction, that instructed you to go ahead with the elections. And finally, when a superior court that is higher than that of your state gave this ruling, you see a whole lot of contradiction.
Okay.
And then where do we stand from here? See, the way politicians are throwing the masses into their own confusion, for me, is contradicting, is completely contradicting. Why are they not coming out clean and clear on matters that will not be conflicting itself over time? Just like you make mention of the issue of Rivers State. Is it not the same thing? Is it the same thing? It's like whatever the politicians are doing and at the same time dragging the judiciary into it, the judiciary will be wavering and doing their bidding without understanding the sanctity of that institution.
No, talking about the judiciary at this point in time, because we've seen this happening basically in the party PDP itself, because these are where we have instances of these events happening like this. So if for peradventure now for the Osun State government to come out to say anything, do you think this might result to what we are experiencing here in River State?
Oftentimes politicians don't actually necessarily come and give you a press conference for you to read their body language. For him to have, disobeyed the court, okay, should I say disobeyed? He has not really disobeyed per se, because his people are election has already been sworn.
So he's abusing the court.
It was a court that gave him the right to conduct
the election. Yes.
So that's one. And then the PDP went back, the APC went back to court and then obtained their own injunction. And then now again, they are going back to court again. So it's more like the issue of Rivers State is actually going to play at some point. Honestly speaking, because if it continues like this, they have not gotten to Supreme Court. Definitely, I foresee it's going there, because that's actually what APC wants. APC wants him to appeal it at the Supreme Court, but he doesn't want to go there yet. He wants them to go there first. Now, the part is, what I think is, the more the court processes keep dragging, the more the tenure keeps going. So before you know it, the chairman has already completed their own tenure. And then we are still back to square one. So the next administration comes to inherit the same problem again, go back again with the court process. So it's still going to be the same thing that is playing in Rivers State. Okay. Because Rivers State, we have not seen the last one. Supreme Court has given a judgment, and we are all waiting for implementation. I don't know how that works. Who waits for implementation of Supreme Court judgment?
All right. Well, talking about PDP, let's also take a look at Lagos State now. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) National Secretary Mr. Ude Okoye has led other party chieftains to visit the party's 2023 Lagos State governorship candidate, Abdulaziz Adediran, over his resignation. This is contained in a statement on Wednesday in Lagos by Adediran's spokesman, Mr. Gbenga Ogunleye. Atn recalls that Adediran, leader of the Lagos for Lagos movement, announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party on Monday, citing betrayal and lack of discipline. Barely 48 hours after leaving the party, PDP leaders visited Adediran at his Abuja office, urging him to reconsider his decision and return to the party. Ogunleye said the PDP leaders pleaded with Adediran to revisit his decision and withdraw his resignation from the party. ATN recalls that Adediran said on Monday he left the party with his supporters across the 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas of Lagos State. He attributed his decision to betrayal by party elders and the PDP's inability to resolve its internal crisis in Lagos State. Well, here is another developing story from the PDP, and this has to do with the 2023 governorship candidate of the PDP. He's the PDP leaders, went on a visit to him to plead with him to reconsider his resignation, because he did that a few days ago, citing so many issues there before leaving the party. Dr. Harry, what would you make of this story? This is PDP again.
We won't stop talking about this misunderstanding that is going on within the midst of these political parties, be it PDP, APC, and the rest of them.
Okay.
Now, looking at what is playing out in Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, for me, in politics, they see it as their ideal thing. It's something that must happen within the fold of their political organization. But for the candidate of the 2023 governorship election in Lagos State under the PDP to have resigned his membership from the People's Democratic Party, he has cited his reasons for doing so. And so for the National Working Committee of the party to step in to say, well, you might have had reasons for resigning your membership from the party, but we want you to consider of coming back. It's okay, but it will now depend on him as an individual. Do I need to come back? Have they given me enough reasons to come back into the party? Meanwhile, when you look at PDP in Lagos State, there has been a lot of uncertainty, affecting that political party in that state since 1999 till date. Maybe the young man says that, look, continuing remaining in this political party will mean nothing for me as a politician. I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about him as a politician, because he has given his reasons. So, but for the National Working Committee to say, okay, please, we want you to reconsider your position and return back to the party, it's expected. But like I said, it's also depend on him to say yes or no, because he has that constitutional right to remain in the party, and also has that constitutional right to, to say, I'm not going to be in the party, so far his reasons are genuine and all of that. So for me, I don't see any crime there, except otherwise.
All right. Well, and then it's your turn now. Let's take a look at this critically. Jordan is saying that his reason of leaving the PDP is he cites betrayal as a reason of him leaving the PDP. Again, do you think that this is substantive enough for him to leave the PDP, due to betrayal and all of that? I mean, this what happens to the other parties who think of it? Do you face similar situations there? I mean, let me get your take on this one.
Okay, first off, one thing I want to borrow relief from my co-guest. He said it's a personal decision. I totally agree. But one thing I know I like about Jandu is the fact that he's not a very an easy person to bend over for federalism.
Okay.
Because when he tendered his resignation, I remember the party where there were people saying that he wanted to join the ruling All Progressive Congress, and then he came out vehemently to tell them that he does not need federalism, he does not need anybody, and Lagos State is about federalism. So he came out publicly to say that he doesn't need any federalism. He even mentioned names of people that he's not going to see before he becomes the governor of Lagos State. So I like that. I like that for him, because he's a man he has a mind of his own. But like my colleague said, it's a personal decision for him. He alone knows what happened in the last election and how he was betrayed. And of course, I know he's an party internal something, internal party something. But then for National Working Committee to deem fit to visit him, to plead with him, I think he alone knows. And he has the right, like my colleague said, constitutional right to either resign or join any party. He's a man of his own. But I love one thing about him. He's a man that has a mind of his own. But whether he decides to stay back in PDP or go somewhere else, we can only wish him the best, because it's a personal decision of his. But bearing in mind that Lagos State is being controlled by some certain godfatherism elite figure out there, I think it's not going to be an easy ride for him.
All right. Well, again, don't you think that this is reasons for leaving the party, don't you think that it's going to tarnish the image of the PDP or puts the PDP in a very bad spot?
Yes, when he said, when he cited betrayal as one of the reasons he was leaving the party, you can be betrayed everywhere. After all, even our savior was betrayed by one of his disciples. So that somebody betrayed him in the party doesn't mean the party betrayed him. It's not the party per se. If the party betrayed him, he wouldn't have been the governorship candidate in the first place. But then maybe there were people he wanted better from, or he thought better of, that could have done better. There were people also he would have maybe believe will enhance his chances of winning, who eventually would turn up for him. But I don't think it's a political party there must be betrayal. You can't play politics without betrayal. We face that in everyday life. So, but then I don't think is it a dent on PDP. Yes, somebody betrayed him, not the party per se. Maybe he expected much, and then it didn't happen. But then the National Working Committee are there to make peace, and then they're talking with him. Whatever his decision is, still wish him the best.
All right, well, before we move on to the next story, I would also like to ask you, Dr. Henry, what do you also make as regards to the moves by the PDP leader to approach Jando, asking him to come back? I mean, 48 hours to when he resigned from the party.
It's the ideal thing that the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, is doing. Sitting down and watching your members declining on daily basis, and you did nothing about it. It's like you even pray for them to be going.
Right.
So like I said from the onset, so it's an ideal thing they have done so far. But let's see how it plays out in the coming days.
Well, fingers crossed in anticipation as regards to that. We hope there's a positive result out of all of that.
I hope so.
We hope for the best.
All right. Well, let's take a look at alleged sexual harassment. Well, concerned stakeholders has disowned Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan over her alleged unprovoked attacks on Senate President Godswill Akpabio, apologizing to Akpabio on behalf of the people of Kogi Central and warning that they may initiate a recall process against her if such actions continue. The group condemned Akpoti-Uduaghan's stance, describing her action as uncharacteristic of Kogi Central's values. We are known for showing gratitude, loyalty, and fidelity to friendship. We therefore condemned her utterances and actions against Akpabio, which do not represent us, the group said. The stakeholders further urged Akpoti-Uduaghan to focus on her legislative duties and cease all actions undermining the Senate's harmony. They called on the Senate to continue disciplinary measures and warned that any further misstep might compel them to commence the recall process. In an open letter, the stakeholders led by their convener, Abdul Rahim Adeko, highlighted the cordial relationship between Akpabio and Akpoti-Uduaghan's family. It's recalled Akpabio's role in her political journey and personal life. The group lamented that a compliance issue in the Senate had escalated into what it described as a public smear campaign against Akpabio. Akpoti-Uduaghan submitted a petition during the plenary calling for an investigation into her sexual harassment allegations against Akpabio. In response, Akpabio directed that the petition be referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges in Public Petitions. However, the decision sparked a heated debate among senators. Senate Chief Whip Mohammed Monguno cited Order 40 of the Senate Standing Rules, arguing that the petition should not be accepted as the matter was already before the court. He also noted that Akpoti-Uduaghan violated Senate's rules by personally signing her petition. Former Senate Majority Leader Abubakar Abdullahi countered, stating that since the petition had been accepted, the committee should be allowed to handle it objectively. However, the Senate Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions Committee declined to entertain Akpoti-Uduaghan's petition, citing procedural violations and legal constraints. Chairman of the committee, Senator Neda Imasuen, explained that the petition was inadmissible under Order 40, subsection 4 of the Senate's rule book, which stipulates that a senator cannot present a petition signed by themselves. Instead, it must be submitted through another senator. This fundamental breach rendered the petition invalid from the outset. Justice Egwatu, granting an interim injunction, directed the defendants to appear within 72 hours of being served to explain why a full interlocutory injunction should not be issued against them. The case was adjourned to March 10 for further proceedings. All this come as supporters of Apoti Uduaghan and Akpabio clashed at the National Assembly yesterday. But the demonstrations began when Apoti Uduaghan supporters, including civil society groups and concerned citizens, gathered at the National Assembly entrance calling for Akpabio's resignation, carrying placards with inscriptions such as Akpabio must go and we stand with Senator Natasha. They demanded a thorough investigation into the allegations. In a counter-protest, Akpabio supporters, operating under the banner of United Women of Good Governance, staged a demonstration in defense of the Senate's president. They carried placards with messages such as apologize to the Senate's president and we say no to Natasha's serial blackmailing, insisting that Apoti Uduaghan retract her accusations. The group argued that Akpabio had always regarded Apoti Uduaghan as a daughter and friend. Security operatives at the National Assembly Arcade intervened earlier to disperse Apoti Uduaghan supporters using tear gas. Undeterred, the protesters regrouped at the Unity Fountain, continuing that demonstration. Well, this is about Natasha's case. I mean, it's been making the round on social media so far. Well, I don't think you follow the trend in it, John.
Yes, I did. Of course, why would it's involved in number 4? It is number 3rd man in the country, so of course we carry it.
Oh, okay, so what would you make of the story?
I don't know, but first off, I want to make something clear first. Sexual harassment is a very, very, very disturbing issue.
All right.
Irrespective of whether it's the actor and the protagonist or whoever it is involved in. But the fact is, this is becoming too political for my liking.
How do you mean?
What I mean is, I mean, somebody is being accused of sexual harassment, and because of the position the person occupies, I expect that if he was a normal person, would have stepped aside since the case is being handled by the ethics committee to be investigated. You can't be a judge in your own case.
All right.
Yeah. So I would expect if he was a normal, like a sitting senator, not a Senate president, to step aside. But be that as it may, that's the position he occupies. Also, he should leave by example. Really, I think he should also step aside for a complete and comprehensive investigation to take place. But then I don't want to see this as a political witch hunting.
All right.
Because it looks like today we didn't even know what happened, but just because of a little election and change of seats in the Senate, the next thing we heard was sexual harassment. And I'm like, where's this coming from? But then sexual harassment is always about people. We can't stay outside. All the people protesting don't know what happened actually. Okay. They don't know what really happened. But then from the outside, I just want the right thing to be done. I want a thorough investigation, a comprehensive investigation into this. And if the Senate President is found guilty, I think he should also face what every normal Nigerian will face. But I will urge him, for out of respect for his office, to step aside, let this investigation be carried out while it is out of the picture.
Okay.
So we can get to know the real truth of the matter. But then, until then, I just hope it's not a political witch hunting.
Okay, Dr. Henry, I mean, you've been following the stories. I want to be sure that you followed the story.
Anything that has to do with Nigeria, I don't take it back. I don't.
That's quite true.
Okay. Each time I had the opportunity of watching Congress in America depicting matters of national importance. In fact, I am so proud of them. Considering to what is happening in our own hallowed chamber called the Nigerian Senate, sometimes it's very shameful. Now look at the name they bear, distinguished senators. They don't know that they are the most privileged to have represented their senatorial district at that higher level, which in fact you must be the most important person at that hierarchy. So you must respect the wish of the people to have elected you to represent them at that high level. But look at what is happening. Now, take a look at this very holistically. it started, my seat was changed. You know, you should have informed me. From there, it spilled over to sexual harassment and all of that.
Okay.
Imagine all of this. In a sane society where normal people operate with good senses, I repeat, with good senses, having heard this about him, the first thing he would have done is, okay, let me excuse myself and take care of this matter once and for all, so that I will clear my name.
Okay.
But look at what is happening.
Okay. So
Tomorrow now, hold on, Victor. Tomorrow now, when international community will come in and take up this matter objectively, we said it is like somebody's trying to do something against them. It is not.
Okay,
it is not.
There have been questions that why didn't Natasha voice out before now? Why must she say this when all of this is happening?
Just like my colleague have said it. He said, okay, now that the matter has been voiced out, it's a very weighty allegation for you to have been accused of harassing somebody sexually. Do you know what that means? At first, your image is being tarnished, and you need to clear it. You need to clear it.
Another disturbing fact.
Just like you rightly said it. Here's a number, when you talk about citizens hierarchy in this country, it's number 3 of that hierarchy. And so, should it be him? The answer is no.
Still in this matter of sexual harassment, well, Kogi group rather, some people are, disowning Natasha as regards to this, and they are also, she's been threatened that she might be recalled from the Senate seat and all of that. What do you also
they shouldn't make it a trade, because they want to infringe on her constitutional right.
Okay.
Anybody that is saying that, in fact, if case not taken, that the leader of that group should be queried for saying so, because they are trying to fringe or tampered with her constitutional right. I keep saying that. I will not sit down here to look at the matter based on sentiment side. No, I can't do that. And so if they have done that, they should apologize to that woman and retrieve their step from doing that. If they want to support whoever they want to support, it is their own right to do that. But don't, as a result of your civil action, you take laws into your hand. Let the right thing always prevail at every given time. And that will give us a good name than what is going on so far.
All right, so and then, the Senate President has cleared his name from all of this, saying he has never done such, he's never done such a thing to any women. In short, he's gender friendly and all of that. So what would you make of this?
Well, we know the Senate President, Senator Goswell. He's been in power for so many years.
Since 1999, he's still there.
And I think this is the first time we're hearing this. That's why I'm saying, as weighty as this, it should just step aside and make sure that this is taken care of. Because, I mean, at the point where he is right now, this is not what he needs.
Okay.
This tarnishing is not what he needs right now. And to prove his innocence, I think if you see, it's not everybody that commits a crime always denies first.
All right.
If you commit it before in fact, at the point of you being caught red-handed, you still deny until everything is proven beyond reasonable doubt that you actually committed a crime. That's the point when you don't know, you don't see a way out, and then you give in. So I believe honestly, with all the integrity, that you should step aside. I mean, it's too up there.
Okay, when you say this is the first time you're hearing of this allegation, well, there's a video making the rounds on social right now that a woman claims she also experienced such acts from the Senate President while he was in the NDDC, and then she gave him a slap right here in Port Harcourt.
And then we are okay. This is coming up now.
Where
has the woman been all this while?
All right. Maybe she was waiting for this time.
Okay.
Well, this is just me thinking, actually. All right. So again, I also want to ask. We've seen a series of. A lot of people are saying she's supposed to face disciplinary actions for not adhering to the instruction given by the Senate President as regards to change of seat. What would you also say about that?
No, I don't know why we keep shutting women up in this society. Why?
Okay.
Why will she came to work that very day There was no prior notice to her that her seat was going to be changed. And then all of a sudden, right there in the sitting, she was told to vacate her seat to another seat. And then you see, I love her doggedness, really. All right. I love her doggedness. Sexual harassment or not, that's inconsequential for me. I just love her, and she's a very outspoken person. So she wanted to know why her seat wasn't changed. And then it was just the whole voice of men upon Abba. And we are fighting for equality and
gender equality
and what have you, and we want women to take up the highest positions.
And this week is women.
And then they are shutting people down. Why?
Okay, Dr. Harry. Well,
you see, a man's head should not be shaved in his absence.
Honestly.
All right.
Now, if this woman, made this complaint, said, please, I want to know why my seat was changed. And for God's sake, that is her right. You can't shut her down.
According to reports, she was supposed to obey the instructions and then say whatever she wants to say at the seat where she was instructed.
It means that
because the Senate president has the power to, allocate seats to any senator. That's what the Red Book says.
Okay. You want to tell us that is what the rule says?
The Red Book, yes.
Then if the woman asks and says, look, please, why is my seat changed?
Well,
you can explain. You can explain to her in a very simple terms. Say, look, because of this or that, and clarify her.
What if she have taken the seat and then voice whatever she wants to say?
If she had obeyed that day, you won't be hearing of sexual.
Of all of this.
Because she knew why she didn't obey.
Do you understand the point?
Honestly, if she had obeyed that day and be like a dummy and woke up to where she was told to sit, we would be hearing of this. So maybe she knew something we all don't know.
Don't know.
That's why she stood firm.
Well, the Senate Committee on Disciplinary and Other Privileges have said that her petition is dead on arrival. What would you also make of this?
Well, okay, fine. According to the order, the Senate order 40 subsection 4, it says that you can't be a party to your own issue. Yeah. Okay, so she signed her own complaint, right? Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem, right?
And that's the case
is already in court.
Okay. And so it cannot be.
Okay, but then having said that, I heard the committee sat the next day, and then she wasn't there. So they now start. So if the House rule says you cannot be a signatory to your own case, how come they are sitting over the case? Why didn't they just wait for the court order? Why didn't they wait for court to exhaust these proceedings before they said? Well, okay, now you see what is happening now. Now they said it's against the rule, and then at the same time they are still sitting on the case. So it means that something is about to be wrapped up. I don't know if you're looking at it from the point I'm saying it, because if they are in a hurry to sit over the case that they said they could not be sat on, how come? Why are they? Is something trying? Are they hurrying to cover up something or what?
All right. So, Dr. Henry, we've seen protests and counter protests from the team Akpabio and Team Natasha at this point.
Okay, Team Akpabio and that of Natasha.
Team Natasha.
This matter seems to be in the Senate Petitions Committee and in the court as well.
All right.
You see,
but she said the matter hasn't been in court yet.
It hasn't?
Yes.
But the Senate was somehow restrained from looking into that matter. So how come?
That it hasn't been in court. That she filed a different case entirely.
Oh, she filed a different case?
Yes.
In connection to that matter, right?
Not in connection with
So how come the Senate itself? You see, we shouldn't have, you understand, you cannot put something on nothing. You put something on something. So for her to say that she hasn't filed the case, then how come a court of competent jurisdiction has issued an injunction to the Nigerian Senate not to look into that matter?
No,
how come?
They offered an injunction not to look into her disciplinary matter. This has to do with the disciplinary and.
Okay, yes, that was the case.
So that was the case.
Okay. Now that originally, if the matter has been taken to court, please let both sides allowed the court to do what is expected of them.
But the Senate president hasn't signed the petition. He hasn't accepted.
Okay, he hasn't. Now, it boils down to the point of what we are discussing here. As a Senate president, someone who presided over the Hallowed Chamber called the Senate of Federal Republic of Nigeria, if he's a very gentle man, knowing too well that this petition or this alleged sexual harassment is going to tarnish his image to a very large extent, would have said, okay, for my, for my namesake, I want this matter to be treated fairly. Let me step aside and give room for the right thing to be done. That should have been the simplest thing for him to do. But now I know that there will be a whole lot of manipulation of this matter. Tomorrow, I'm telling you the truth. So there's nobody that will tell me that, look, this matter will not be swept under the carpet and will still remain in his position, presiding over the Nigerian Senate.
Okay, and there have been questions that the women in the Senate are not supporting Senator Natasha Akpotsu. What would you also make of that?
Those are elected people, you know that first time. They are elected people, and this is. You remember when I started, I told you I don't want to look at this as being political.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can't. Nigerian thing, you can't take away politics from it.
Enjoy that.
Everything in Nigeria is politics. So imagine your fellow gender is accusing somebody of sexual harassment. Now you, that is a woman, will not support her. It just shows how far we have come in terms of morality in our society. So now they want to leave her alone because everybody is fighting for her own head. That's just what I see.
All right, well, let's take our last story for today. Well, former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Wednesday charged the citizens, particularly the nation's youths, to play their roles patriotically towards ensuring that Nigeria is attains an enviable status in the Committee of Nations. He tasked Nigerians that are yet to attain the age 80 to brace up for the obligations of nation building, stressing that if we do it well, we will have an enviable Nigeria in our lifetime. Obasanjo said this yesterday in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, while responding to the plethora of encomium showered on his personality by well-wishers during his 88th birthday celebration, which held at the Mark Hallelujah of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. While speaking at the event, which was attended by eminent Nigerians, which included traditional rulers, present and past state governors, captain of industries, as well as foreign expatriates, the former president expressed optimism that the country will attain an enviable status, which all the citizens will be proud of during his lifetime, irrespective of how bad the situation could be. Well, Dr. Harry, quickly, what would you make of the statement made by Obasanjo during his birthday?
A statement that comes from the elder statesman and the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Who am I to say no to his statement? But one thing, like I keep hammering on, is it's like those who led us in the past will remember something patriotic when they are out of office than doing it when they are in office. Look at these nice words presented by our former president. He had opportunity of changing the fortune of this country to what would make other leaders to follow. But did he do it? Well, I wish him all the best.
All right, quickly, in just a minute, John, I would like to get your take as regards to the message from Obasanjo to the youth.
Well, it's a wonderful message, honestly. It's a wonderful message. We're happy at the 8th birthday to Mr. Obasanjo. But then, like my colleague said, I don't know why, every time this motivational speeches come from our former leader, what happens when they are there? But I believe, and I strongly believe that Nigeria will attend the I mean, we are the most very brilliant set of human beings.
Wow. All right, thank you so much, John. I mean, it's been an amazing moment having you right here in the studio discuss Atn Politics today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Dr. Harry. It's been an exciting moment. Your in-depth analysis are always on point.
Thank you for having me.
We will look forward to having you.
Thank you.
Well, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atn Politics. Remember, we are open for advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product, service promotion, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our Atn socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X on YouTube, Atlantic TV Network, search us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity remains the pathways to progress. Thank you so much for watching. I am Victor Tita.
The board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network and Wish 99.5 FM. Theme: Imperative of Private Media in Sustainable Development.
Keynote speaker, Professor Tony Iradia, erudite scholar and broadcast guru. Chairman, Professor Umar Kart, President, Society of Broadcasters, Nigeria, and Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashiri, Gombe State. Panelists: Chief Honorable Arthur C. Kalabo, Information and Communication Expert; Dr. Haka Tuait, Lecturer, Public Relations, Media and Communication; Dr. Bekwele Lawrence DK, Lecturer, Marketing Communication and Public Relations; Opaka